Why Linux Mint is one of the best Windows replacements. Switching from Windows to Linux can feel intimidating. You might worry about software compatibility, gaming performance, hardware support, or a steep learning curve. But in 2026, Linux, especially Linux Mint, has matured into a genuinely practical daily driver for most people. It offers familiarity, stability, freedom from corporate bloat, and strong gaming support thanks to tools like Valve's Proton. If you're frustrated with Windows 11's requirements, forced updates, ads, or privacy concerns, Linux Mint could be the refreshing alternative you've been looking for.
A familiar start menu and desktop experience. One of the biggest barriers for Windows users is the interface. Many Linux distributions use app drawers or unconventional layouts, but Linux Mint's Cinnamon Edition feels right at home. Right after installation, you'll see a traditional taskbar at the bottom with a Start menu button in the lower left corner, just like classic Windows. Click it to browse installed apps, search for programs, access settings, or power options. The menu is highly customizable and mouse-friendly. Cinnamon strikes a great balance. It's modern yet conservative. It doesn't chase trends that break workflows. For beginners, this "it just works" approach with sensible defaults makes the transition smooth. You won't need to relearn everything on day one.
Built on rock-solid foundations. Linux Mint is based on Ubuntu, which itself builds on Debian, giving it excellent stability and broad hardware support. It uses the Linux kernel and benefits from Ubuntu's massive ecosystem while adding its own refinements for a more polished, user-focused experience. Mint follows a slower release cycle focused on reliability rather than bleeding-edge features. This makes it ideal for people who want a system that stays stable for years. You get long-term support, regular security updates, and fewer surprises. Whether you're coming from Ubuntu or completely new to Linux, Mint feels familiar but more approachable. It works great with AMD, Intel, and NVIDIA GPUs. Driver installation is straightforward through the built-in tools. Easy software installation, no terminal required. Linux Mint includes a clean, intuitive software manager, its App Store equivalent. Browse categories, read descriptions, check ratings, and install apps with one click. Everything is free and open source by default. Popular apps like Steam, Firefox, LibreOffice, GIMP, VLC, and Thunderbird are available instantly. For Windows-only software, strong alternatives usually exist, and tools like Wine or Proton can help with compatibility. You can use the terminal for more power and speed, but you don't have to. This GUI-first approach lowers the barrier for new users.
Revives old hardware and runs on almost anything. One of Linux Mint's biggest strengths is efficiency. Windows 11 has strict hardware requirements and can feel sluggish on older machines. Mint breathes new life into them. Official minimum requirements, very conservative. 2 GB RAM, 4 GB recommended for comfortable use. 20 GB disk space, 100 GB recommended. 64-bit processor. Basic graphics support, 1024 by 768 resolution. It runs well on everything from budget laptops to high-end rigs and even single-board computers. Lower resource usage often means faster boot times, snappier performance, and longer battery life on laptops. Gaming on Linux has come a long way. Gaming was once Linux's weak point, but that's no longer true in 2026. Valve's Proton, built on Wine, translates Windows games to run on Linux with minimal fuss. Install Steam on Mint, enable Proton, and many titles just work, often with gold or platinum ratings on Proton DB. Some games even perform better than on Windows due to fewer background processes. Newer Proton versions continue to improve compatibility for demanding titles. While not every game is perfect, especially those with heavy anti-cheat, the library of playable games is huge and growing. Tools like Lutris or Bottles can help with non-Steam titles.
Why make the switch now? Linux Mint gives you freedom and privacy. No forced telemetry, ads, or product pushes. Control. Full customization and no vendor lock-in. Stability. A system that stays out of your way. Cost savings. Free forever with excellent support for older hardware. Community. Helpful forums and a welcoming user base. It's not perfect. Some niche professional software may require workarounds, but for everyday productivity, browsing, media, and gaming, it's more than capable.
Getting started is simple. 1. Download the latest ISO from the official Linux Mint website. Choose Cinnamon for the most Windows-like experience. 2. Create a bootable USB. Tools like Rufus or Balena Etcher work great. 3. Try it live, no installation needed, to test compatibility. 4. Install alongside or replace Windows. Dual boot is easy if you want both. Back up your data first and consider starting with a live session.
Final thoughts. In 2026, Linux Mint remains one of the most recommended distributions for Windows users because it prioritizes what matters: usability, stability, and respect for your time. It doesn't try to be everything, but what it does exceptionally well. If you're tired of fighting your OS and want something faster, lighter, and more private, give Linux Mint a try. Many people who switch never look back. What do you think? Ready to make the jump? Drop your questions or experiences in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.